Okay, welcome to another video tutorial of the BlueSeer software application. BlueSeer is an open source project that provides software solutions to the general manufacturing community and to the overall business community as well. It does provide a lot of traditional functionality within an ERP, but it also provides EDI functionality, and that's something we're going to talk about today. The EDI functionality provided within it could easily be a standalone EDI tool. It has its own translation mapping. It has its own mapping tool, and it also has all the communication tools that you typically find with a standalone EDI translator. So BlueSeer can act as both the ERP and an EDI standalone translator, but both of these functionalities are built within the overall BlueSeer software application. So they're all housed within the same software application. BlueSeer originally was an ERP system. It was added on with some EDI functionality to it. But the EDI function, the important aspect here is that the EDI functionality is native to the BlueSeer software application, which is different. It may be the only ERP system that actually has native EDI tool sets at that level. Most of your larger commercial and even open source ERP packages require some third-party application to do the EDI translation and the EDI communication. But BlueSeer is different in that category. It does have EDI functionality and complete EDI functionality native to the application. And that's something we're going to talk about right now. We're going to demonstrate loading an EDI document into BlueSeer and actually creating a sales order within BlueSeer as a BlueSeer event, one event. And then we're also going to process that order to create order acknowledgement, ASN, and an invoice. So what we're going to look at is, again, the EDI portion of BlueSeer can act as a standalone translator. So it can do an 850 to a CSV or an 850 to an XML. But what we're going to look at primarily is an 850 to a BlueSeer sales order. These are the maps. These maps are available with the original download. So you don't have to do any mapping. You don't have to do go get any extra data. All this stuff is bundled within the original download. So we're going to look at the 850 to sales order, and then we're going to process these three documents right here. So as we process the order into a shipment and then a shipment into an invoice, we're going to export these three documents here. And again, these maps are already there. All right, so let me show you an example of a sales order. So a lot of you may not know what an actual EDI X12 850 looks like. So in the sample data we have, right here. Let me drop this so you can see it. So this is what an 850 X12 formatted purchase order looks like. It has all the information necessary to create a sales order. It has the purchase order number here. It has item quantity, item pricing, and the item itself. And this is just the basic information and basic template data that's necessary to create an order. And this is what an X12 850 looks like. And there's the document type. The X12 community has over 300, I think, transactions, and all formatted in this type of format. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to demonstrate loading that order into BlueSeer and creating a sales order. So we go to EDI load, search, sample data. Again, these sample files are already in the bundled download. We're going to choose this file that we just looked at, click open, and yeah, that should have created a sales order. You can look at the EDI log to make sure it was successful. Document view, click run, and you have a green status here. But primarily, it should have created an order. So if you go to order browse, you should have a order, and we do. There's the order. Click select. You can print the order if you wanted to, provide it to the floor, but all the information is there, and it's created the actual sales order with the line items here as well. So that's the creation of an order from an 850 purchase order. What we're going to do is kind of simulate the processing of the order. We're going to ship it and we're going to invoice it. We're also going to confirm the order. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to click confirm, and by confirming, you're saying I accept this order from the customer, and so you're going to send back an order acknowledgement. So we're going to click confirm. I do notice one thing here. I need to change the date for this. Give me 1 second, because it's old data. And then click update. You'll see why this was changed. The order date was changed to 10/4 in just a few minutes. Okay, so now we've confirmed the order, we've updated it, and we want to export the order acknowledgement. So we go over, oh, before we do that, notice that the customer is Acme. So there's one configuration change that you need to make sure is in place. If you go to customer browse, you'll see the code Acme, which is the default customer that comes with the download. There are 3 export possibilities here, and you have to assign these per build to that you're using. So you need to check these 3 here so that the system will allow the export of the 855, 856, and 810. Just click update. And so then next we're going to do the export, EDI export. And this is order date to order date, so that's why I changed the order date. So it'll do any order that has been confirmed from this date to this date. Here we're going to choose order acknowledgement. We're going to click commit. And we got a return code of success. So that should have created an 855 order acknowledgement in our data. So let's go over here to EDI out, and there's the order, or the order acknowledgement. So if you double click on that, you'll see what an 855 looks like. This is an 855 template. There's the document type, and it's got the original purchase order number, but it also has the sales order number in BlueSeer that was created. And this is just what a typical 855 looks like. Okay, so that's the order acknowledgement. Let's go back to, let's now process the order by shipping the order. So go back to order browse, click run. And we're going to, there's many ways to ship and invoice an order in BlueSeer. We're going to do it the easy way. And that's to say that we're going to ship and invoice the entire order by just clicking invoice. By clicking this button, you are both creating a shipper and creating an invoice at the same time. And the shipper number and the invoice number happen to be the same thing. So you've got your invoice. So you can look at the invoice by going to INVB, run. There's our invoice. You can print the invoice. Here's our shipper number and invoice number, 2118. And you can actually look at the invoice detail here. This status of open will stay open until you apply payment to this invoice. Okay, so yeah, we've shipped the order and we've invoiced the order. So now let's create those relevant documents to go out the door. We're going to create an ASN for the shipment. It was shipped today on 10/4, so this date range is good. Click commit. And we should have an ASN in our outbound. And we do. There's the 856. Click on that. This is the typical structure of an ASN with the document type, and this is all the information that constitutes an X12 ASN formatted file. All right, and then lastly, we're going to create an invoice. So we create invoice, or choose invoice. Again, it was invoiced on 10/4, so the date range is good. Click commit. And you get a return code of success. So we did successfully create it. Notice that this override exported. If you previously overrided it and you want to resend it again, you're going to have to click this button to re-export the document again. Okay, so let's see if our invoice is there. Yes, it is. There it is. And this is what a typical 810 looks like. Now this is a very bare bones type of 810. It's just got the bare minimum information necessary to be called an invoice. It's got your invoice number, it's got your original purchase order number of the customer, and then quantity and price and the item, and then the big thing is the net invoice amount in the TDS segment with implied decimal. So yeah, that's just a bare bones invoice. Now your customer is probably going to want you to provide more segments than just these basic segments here. And if you need to do that, what you would do is come over to EDI translation menu map. Again, these maps are there. The map that created that invoice is the BSDB to 810. And you can make adjustments in here to fulfill whatever requirements your customer has for the segments necessary inside that invoice. This is not a drag and drop type of mapping editor. This is a text-based editor. The codes are repetitive. It's always map segment and commit segment. You're mapping a segment and an element, segment, element, segment, element, and you're using source data. So it's segment, element, and then whatever the source information is, whether it's hard-coded or it's from the original source structure. So yeah, this is the mapping editor. You can make adjustments to this as necessary to fulfill your customer's implementation guide for their transactions that they're looking for. Okay, that's it. Again, BlueSeer does provide both ERP, its core is ERP functionality, but it also has native EDI functionality at the level of both a translation tool and a communication tool. And you can get kind of robust in your structure with this. You can create what is called workflows inside BlueSeer that bundle some of these EDI and ERP type functionalities. For example, you could do an AS2 transaction to a customer, or an SFTP transaction to a customer, get a document, and then the next workflow action item would be the mapping step here. Then you can move that next step over to moving the file to an archive or something like that. So there's a lot of functionality you can do with the EDI tool set that is native to the BlueSeer application, our BlueSeer ERP system. And again, a lot of, even the commercial systems don't have native EDI tool set at that level. They always typically have to have a third-party solution for their EDI functionality. And that generally increases your overall cost of your business solutions. So if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to BlueSeer.com. In particular, if you find any bugs with the application, please report them to the website. Report them to support@BlueSeer.com. And thank you.